All right, so welcome back to another episode, and today we are going to unbox the Shimano SLX DC, and it is actually the 6 gear, and I picked it up for moving baits like chatterbaits, lipless crankbaits, scorebills, you name it. So take our knife, and I did get it from Tackle Warehouse. There we go. Tear it open. And by the way, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the reel out of the box, unbox it, talk about it. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it, but we're also gonna put it on a rod, spool it up with fluorocarbon, I might add, and see how we like it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like it. I've been using the Shimano Antares DC for years and the Corrado DC for years, so I'm pretty sure the SLX DC, excuse me, should be just as good. Yep. And it is, like I said, it is the 151, which is a left-hand retrieve in the 6 gear. If you get an HG, that would be a high gear, which would be a 7 gear. Yep, 6-3-1, 5 bearings, monofilament Power Pro. I like to use fluorocarbon on all of my reels, and I still, just a fun little fact to add to this, get this box out of the way, is I still do prefer conventional reels, but I always keep a few DC reels on hand to do product reviews with and to fish with once in a while to change things up. So go ahead and take this SLX DC out of the box. Okay. And just like any other Shimano reel, it's gonna have the instruction manual, it's gonna have the oil, and the reel itself, it is the Bantam oil. All right, leave that in the box. So, and another thing too is, oh yeah, I do believe this is going to be the IDC4 braking system, which is going to have 4, 3, 2, and 1. 4 is for flip pitch or no backlash, as some people like to call it. 3 is fluorocarbon. 2 is going to be for braid, and 1 is going to be for maximum distance. It is set on... Oh, the dial moves easier than I thought. Okay. Yep. Put it on 4, and then this way should be open. You should be able to switch it to open. And nope, there's a hatch right here. And yep, there you go. That makes more sense. There's the inside of your Shimano SLX DC. See, I kind of thought it would have an open tab after the 1, 2, 3, 4 because the Corrado DC has that. So we'll just close it like that. And yep. And is the drag really light? It is. Okay. And if it's anything like the other, like the Corrado DC, you're going to have to set the spool tension accordingly, which won't be an issue. I've fished with anywhere from an $80 reel to a $600 reel, excuse me, it'll be fine. So on the Corrado DC, I like to set it to where the spool tension, otherwise known as the cast control knob, to where the spool just stops moving. Now on a conventional, I'll fish with the spool tension turned where the spool is just wobbling and knocking, but I don't do that with a DC reel. Yep, that should be good. There we go. That's the sound I want to turn to 3. There we go. Well, anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the SLX DC. It looks pretty good. And if anyone is wondering, I did pick it up for $189.99. $189.99. Tackle Warehouse. We're going to get it spooled up with a moving bait. Just like a spool, just like a Corrado DC. And we're going to go and test it, see how we like it. I hope you guys are enjoying this video. And I will let you guys know what I think here in a minute. Take this backpack off, and we're going to test the Shimano SLX DC right here. All right. I do have my tackle bag with me, and I do have other baits in the bag that I might test, that I might tie on and test. Right now I do have a Strike King Thunder Cricket in the half-ounce size with a green pumpkin rage craw on there. Like I said, it is the 6'3" SLX DC with a 7'4" Shimano Corrado medium heavy power moderate action rod. That's what I like for crankbaits and chatterbaits. The reel is set on 3. I do have 16-pound fluorocarbon, and you will notice, like I told you in the one video, I do fill the spool on my reels. Why? Because if you don't, you're not going to get the maximum casting distance. Actually, what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn the reel to 4. 4 is the flip and pitch or no backlash setting that you always hear about. Cast it out there, no problem. Let's reel it back in. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna tell you right now, just with that first cast, which wasn't even that far, it's really smooth. I feel like it's the same, about the same weight as the Corrado DC. Pretty sure it is. And what I did too is I took the spool tension and I loosened it to where the spool wobbles. And then I started, here, I'll do it right here. Here's what I did, put the bait on the keeper, is I loosened the spool tension, otherwise known as the cast control knob, until the spool moved. That's knocking pretty good. And then I tighten it to where the spool just stops moving. So counterclockwise is to loosen, clockwise is to tighten, put it right there. All right, now let's take it to 3. 3 is the fluorocarbon setting. That went much farther, and of course I didn't backlash. I do thumb the spool. I always thumb the spool though. You know, you can see my personal favorite reel to use for fishing is a conventional reel. It's a Baitcaster. I love a DC reel. I like the Antares, the Corrado, like I told you guys. And this SLX DC so far is amazing, but like I said, setting the reel sometimes is the difference between enjoying the experience and not. So if you have like your Corrado DC, oh, that went pretty far. If you have your Corrado DC or your SLX and you're having a tough time with it and you don't understand it, you got to remember that the way you set it and the line you have on there, the bait weight, the rod, that all goes into the fishing equation. And that time I actually didn't thumb it as much. I just kind of let it go and cast it out there really far. And of course the bait went farther. And the funny thing is too, you know, I'm in Michigan, so when I go, what, 3-4 months without open water fishing, and I'm just doing unboxings, vlogs, ice fishing, you kind of get rusty. You kind of like fall out of it. One-handed. So like when open water gets here and I'm first back out on the water casting, I'm like, man, I don't want to mess up. So, oh yeah, picked up right where I left off last season. Well, I say last season, but I was open water fishing in November and December and catching fish. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk a little bit more about this reel, what I think. We're gonna take 1 or 2 more baits, tie them on, test them, and that will be it. So I hope you guys are enjoying. And I don't really think I'm gonna catch a fish today. I know I should probably be throwing a Ned rig or a blade bait if I had hopes of catching anything, but I did just want to tie this Thunder Cricket on a medium heavy moderate rod to get a good cast with this reel. Like I said, I do prefer conventional over DC any day just because I'm better with it. I like it better. It's more of a challenge, all of the above. But anyway. All right, Strike King Red Eye Shad, SLX DC set on 3, 16-pound Sunline fluorocarbon. Well, I'm definitely not rusty from last season. That was a far cast. Go ahead and get another one. Oh, I almost took the tree on the other side. So would I say the SLX DC is as good as the Corrado or the Antares. I wouldn't go that far, but I'm gonna say for $189.99, it's an amazing reel, and you should definitely pick it up, because for that price, I'm impressed. It does exactly what I thought it would do. No backlash, by the way, and I barely thumbed it. It might be a little tight. You got to remember too, like I said, I'm just coming out here to test this. If I was actually fishing, I would be finesse fishing, so keep that in mind. So I want it to just, that might be a little bit better. I want it to just pull if I do a really hard hook set. Not a lot, just a little bit. Not a lot. Here, make a short cast. That's still a little tight. That should be good. There we go. So go up one click. That's perfect. Should be, at least. Should be. Yeah, it should be. All right, so in conclusion, I just cast it really hard. It tried to start backlashing, but I know that when you do that, just let it go, let it do its thing, and it will correct itself. In conclusion, I'm gonna give the SLX DC another 9 out of 10, just like the backpack. I think my first impression, my first test, my first use was amazing. Obviously, I have to catch fish with it. I have to use it in different conditions, different lakes, ponds, rivers, Great Lakes, you name it. And I can't base everything off of this one time, but it's really good. And what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to keep you guys updated as I go. I definitely think it's worth the money, and like I said earlier, I would recommend buying this reel, just because I have been, what do you want to call it, a Shimano fanboy since I was 8 years old. That's all I use, casting and spinning, conventional, DC, you name it. But anyway, do me a favor and leave me a comment in the section below. Do you have the Shimano SLX DC? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? I set it the same way I set the Corrado. I have no issues with it. I think it's amazing. And I do have, you know, some things I'm kind of wondering about the reel, like, oh, well, how will it last, or how will the materials or the parts hold up over time, the gears, all that stuff. But I'm not too worried about it. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. And hopefully next time will be soon. It's kind of an awkward outro, wasn't it?